I knew I was in trouble when she walked into the bar wearing a dress ID picked out for her. "How did you know?" she asked, her eyes sparkling under the disco ball's strobing lights. "You told me to wear it," I said, hoping she wouldn't notice how my tone betrayed the turmoil in my chest. As her gaze locked onto mine, I felt a chill crawl up my spine. She raised an eyebrow, amusement dancing in her eyes. "Oh, right," she said, her voice dripping with mock disappointment. "How could I have been so blind? I guess there's no use in trying to deny it now." Before I could protest, she leaned closer, her lips curving into a mischievous grin. "You can't hide it, Benny. We both know you have feelings for me." I scoffed, hoping to mask my growing dread with indifference. "What are you talking about? This is insane." Yet even as I spoke, my heart hammered against my ribs, threatening to burst from my chest. "Don't play coy with me, Benjamin," she purred, her fingers tracing the delicate lace on her arm. "I've seen the way you look at me. I've heard the way you talk about me behind my back." Panic tightened its grip around my throat, making it hard to breathe. "That's not true. Your friends must have gotten to you," I managed to croak out, wishing the ground would swallow me whole. "Oh, they have nothing to do with this, Benny," she said softly, her tone almost gentle. "This is all me. I know you, Benjamin. I see right through you." And with those words, she stood up, leaving me drowning in the depths of my own guilt and fear. There was nowhere to hide, nowhere to escape. I knew I had to tell her the truth, but the words refused to come out. My fear of losing her, of shattering the fragile balance we'd somehow managed to strike, kept me silent. But I should have spoken up. I should have told her how I really felt, because the next thing I knew, she was gone. The weeks that followed were filled with hollow silence and unspoken truths. With each passing day, my feelings for her grew stronger, more desperate. Yet I remained trapped in my web of deceit, paralyzed by fear. I watched from afar as she laughed with others, danced with strangers, and most painfully, moved on without me. It was a year ago today that I said yes to dating Claire. It wasn't because I had feelings for her. It was a joke a dare, really. My friends had been teasing me all night about how Claire, the boldest girl in our college, had been shamelessly flirting with me. I rolled my eyes and, in a moment of misplaced pride, said, "Fine, I'll date her." I expected it to fizzle out within days. Claire was known for being loud, dramatic, and over-the-top everything I thought I couldn't stand. But on our first fake date, she did something I never anticipated. She listened. She asked me questions no one had ever cared to ask, like what my dream job was, or why I always looked away when I laughed. For the first time, I realized that maybe her boldness wasn't arrogance, it was confidence. Still, I told myself it was a game. Nothing serious. I would laugh it off when she inevitably got bored. But she didn't. Weeks turned into months, and Claire only leaned deeper into the relationship. She surprised me with homemade lunches when I had late classes. She showed up at my art exhibit, clapping the loudest, even though she was the only one in the front row. She introduced me to her mom over FaceTime, beaming like she'd just won the lottery. And that's when the panic started, because somewhere between all the laughter, the spontaneous adventures, and the quiet nights where she held me like I was made of glass, I had stopped pretending. My heart wasn't in on the joke anymore. I was falling for her hard. But instead of admitting it, I froze. I avoided using the word love. I brushed off her gestures, told myself she was too much, and that this whole thing had started as a prank anyway. Then came the night. Everything changed. Claire invited me over, saying she had something special planned. I assumed it was another one of her wild ideas, but when I walked in, her entire apartment was decorated with fairy lights, flowers, and a banner that read, "Forever starts now." She got down on one knee and pulled out a ring box. "Marry me," she said, eyes shining with so much certainty it made my chest ache. I laughed at first. I thought it was one of her theatrics. But she didn't laugh back. "I'm serious," she whispered. "I've never been more sure of anything. You're the one. And I don't care if you think I'm ridiculous. I want you always." That was the moment the weight of my own choices crashed over me. What started as a joke had become her whole world. And the truth, she had become mine, too. Tears stung my eyes as I sank to the floor in front of her. "Claire, I never meant for this to go this far. I started dating you as a dare. A stupid joke. But somewhere along the way, you stopped being a game and started being everything I've ever wanted." Her face froze, caught between heartbreak and hope. "So, what are you saying?" she asked. I took her hands in mine. "I'm saying yes? Not because of the joke, not because of pressure, but because I love you. I've loved you for a long time. I was just too scared to admit it." The relief that washed over her was so intense it nearly knocked us both over. She laughed through her tears, slipped the ring on my finger, and whispered, "About time." Now, as I sit here writing this, Claire is in the other room scrolling through wedding venues. She's humming happily to herself, already planning every detail. And me, I'm no longer panicking. Because this girl I once thought was too much is exactly enough for me. She's chaos and comfort, fire and warmth. She's the best mistake I ever made and the love of my life. So yeah, maybe the joke's on me, because I started dating her as a joke, and now I can't imagine a life without her.